and welcome to PM Personality Profile, indeed a very, very solemn one. My name is Nana Ansakwa the 4th, and sometime last year in July 2015, probably the 12th thereabout, I was asked to go and interview a psalmist. When I turned up at Alisa Hotel and the psalmist appeared, he happened to be my own friend, my brother, and my senior at Accra Academy. Indeed, he is a colleague at Multimedia, our own Danny Nete. This is a guy whose demeanor, his persona, his spirit around him and his song touched everyone. And his passing has been a great loss. Friday, same time last week, we heard that Danny did not make it through. And this indeed shook us to the bone. I'm here today to introduce the interview I had with him last year. At the time, he was full of life, full of ambition, but no glimmer or doubt in his mind that he won't live through the many years that God had blessed him with. But God indeed knows what is best and called him when his time was due. I hope this interview brings good memories and fond memories of our brother Danny Nete. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to PM Personality Profile. My name is Nana Ansakwa the 4th. And as I do every Friday, I come to your homes through the magic of television with a personality whose life there is something in there for us to emulate. Somebody who's lived an exemplary life. Today, the gentleman I'm bringing, I've asked people and everybody's in love with him, particularly the women. Everybody loves him. Yet they don't know why they love him. Well, he's a good singer, but they can't put a finger on it. But I am hoping that by the end of this interview, we can all put a finger on why he is such a darling boy. Indeed, he's a very charming man, my old schoolmate in Accra Academy, well, my senior. Folks, I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'm talking to Danny Nete. Don't move. Well, thank you very much for staying. Folks, as I said, today we're talking to our nation's darling boy, our one and only favorite gospel singer, Danny Nete. For the purposes of the interview, what do I call you? Danny Nete? Danny is good. Danny is good, yeah?
Yes, it is.
I'll start from, why, all the women. I was asking.
You just say, how would I know?
you may have bumped into a couple or two. But normally if I have a personality I'm going to interview, I talk to people, oh, I have this personality I'm talking to this Friday, all excited. And then I get reactions from them, And with you, everybody says, oh, I love him. Oh, I just love him. Oh, I just love him. But nobody's been able to put a finger on why they love you other than that they just love you. I guess it's good because if you know why you love somebody, if that thing finishes, the love goes. So okay. I guess it's good love. But, can you...
So how would I know why they love you? I don't have a clue. Of course, once in a while you come across some, should I call it papa? A little bit of a crazy scenario or situation, and you need to address it. Then somebody stops in the middle of the road and goes like, "Can I have your baby?" I'm like, it's crazy. You don't know. But I guess being able to do what you do, how you do when you do, sometimes it makes it all so easy and worth admiring. So I can understand that.
Well, we'll give the glory to God.
Definitely.
And then I'm going to reverse all the way back to Senior Nete, the evangelist himself.
Okay.
Who was he like, your dad?
My dad, good man, very responsible, took care of his family. Fortunately passed away before we all grew up. So I remember I was in Form 1 when I was told in school that he was gone. But he made everything so easy. Of course, his kind of line of work made sure that he could provide for the family. It wasn't stuff that was being done back then, but he was a little hard on himself and He was an undertaker, a coroner as it were.
Okay.
You know, so the funeral homes, the hiring of chairs and everything, he started it all way back in the day. You know, so I love being with him. It was difficult letting him go. I mean, even if after he had died. And why would I say that? His birthday is the 18th of September. Mine is the 19th.
Oh dear.
So every day just before my birthday, I can't but remember that he was there, and what he would do would be to, you know, make sure he delayed celebrating his, and then we celebrate it together. It means that I get to choose to give who what I want, you know. And he would buy all the things, the Sun Sports. I don't know if you remember Sun Sports back in the day. You know, fan milk, chocolate, all those
stuff. Bring it back.
Yeah, you know. So I remember him fondly. I remember I used to have issues with temper, and I would just fly up. Yeah. I'll fly up and, you know, just throw my left punch and right punch here and there. And he sat me down one day and said, you know what, I've been through all of that. It doesn't give you anything, it doesn't, but worries and pain. So sometimes you need to take a walk. Somebody, you know, says the wrong stuff instead of engaging in whatever. And I took the advice. It worked.
It's definitely working, because you look very sober now.
I know. I mean, my mother was the one we would comment on it. You know, one of the days I went by the house and I had this one shirt. I was going to perform somewhere, and then I gave it to my nephew to iron it, and the first thing I heard was, ouch. I knew something was wrong. He had actually used the iron, and, you know, because it was in the night, the shirt was a little on the silky side. He had messed it up. He had burnt it. So he goes like, Uncle Danny, I burnt your shirt. I'm like, okay, looking through the suitcase and see if I can get anything. So next day my mom calls me and goes like, wow, you know you have changed. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, all hell would have broken loose if it was back in the day, but that's what God can do in one's life. So
I see. How about mommy? How is she? Who is she?
She's still alive. She's still home. She's home. Nice, sweet woman. I actually kind of thought that, you know, I picked the music from her because she was singing every day.
I see.
Any day, anywhere. She would use any church activity. Somebody can sing a song, she raise her hand, go sing a hymn, you know. And so I kind of thought that I found that my dad actually used to play the guitar, and he was really good at it. But my mom loves to sing. I remember when Ron Kelly came to Ghana the second time at Christ Temple. You know, I was outside, we're getting ready to go in to sing, and Ron had sung and sang, started a hymn or two, went round giving the mic, and I heard a voice. I was like, oh my goodness, that's my mother. You know, she would sing for no reason, for every reason. Interesting part is where when I started writing, she would be like, oh, that's a fake song, it doesn't exist. I'm like, but that's how they write it. She's every day you fake a song, you know. And then one day she heard me on Joy singing a song from an album, and she's like, was that really you? I was like, yeah, the fake singing turned into something, right? I've always seen her as my prayer warrior. Back in the day when adrenaline was all over the place, you know, visiting girlfriend here and there, come back middle of the night and she's on her knees praying. You know, I'm like, if she didn't do anything right, I know she did that right. She covered me with her prayers and her love.
Wow. But you started writing as early as 6.
Yes.
So you put little words together and try and make a song out of it?
Yes.
I mean, I'm tempted to say why.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, growing up, now that I'm doing it, I guess I can say that for every one of us, you know, when the Bible talks about train up a child in the way he should go, and will not depart from it when he's old. You know, most of us think it's taking the cane and beating up the child. But the parents, for me, if you read the Amplified, the parents are just supposed to find out what the leaning and bent the child has. some children, you see that they are natural leaders. You begin to work on that. For some of us, I started singing melodies with no words and with words that didn't make sense. I guess, that should have been the cue. But on this side of the divide, the arts, back in the day was not really taken serious.
No.
It's still taking time to develop. But that was the passion. Anytime we had a big hall, living room, dining room, separated by a big curtain. Ask me if that curtain is still big. It's not. But because we were children, we saw it as something huge. And my cousins would come over from next door and we will do plays and recitals. And I always found myself singing, So looking at it, I guess that's the way I'm wired. I can look at you and write a song like now. It's a crazy bit.
We'll get pen and paper and see.
No, I don't need pen and paper.
Really? I wonder what my song would be. Would it be a good song?
I wouldn't try. You don't want to know.
Really? Go on, give me the first key of my song.
He's got swag, he's got a smile, and gonna turn something into something like that.
Well, I agree, I have swag.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I walked in, that was the first thing I noticed. He got something going on, and he would smile. I mean, y'all can see, right?
So I see. Well, you're wired that way.
Wired that way.
Now, you're third born out of 6. Did you have to, that's in the middle. You have to fight and defend.
The fight and defend, I already said that, was because the rest of the 6, we are 7. The rest of the 6, it's 5 girls and one boy. And you know how it happens when the women take over. Especially dad is gone, mom joins with the women, and
so you have
the dictation goes on. You are not there when we're pounding the fufu, you're not eating, So yes, on that side, from the beginning was a fight until I learned how to handle, know that they are women, they always be women, and they are just the way they are, and talking doesn't naturally translate to action for them. It's just letting you know that, hey, you need to be there when we're all doing it so you can participate as well. I love them dearly. It wasn't much of a struggle. If you ask me, I think they've been of tremendous help when it comes to my career, because when I started traveling, it wasn't like you had made a name and you need to be out there, so your tickets and everything is bought. So when the avenue opens up, they are the ones that bought the tickets back in the day. And beautiful part is where they will not even ask for a refund, and you could tell that they believe in their brother. So even to date, like I have my Christmas shows or whichever show they show up, they make sure they buy the tickets. They don't ask for freebies.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that tells you.
Wow, that's a good bond. I think she said there's always something that we can pick from this. That's a good bond.
Yeah.
So how many nieces and nephews?
Nieces and nephews, count. 3, 1, 2, and 3. Your maths is good, right?
Maths was good, but
3, 3,
12.
12.
Oh, is there anyone called Joseph in it?
Joseph?
Yeah, since they're 12, I mean, you must have one Joseph, and then you're set with the 12 tribes.
No, there's Ostwin, Justin, Cassandra, Vanessa, Joshua, Michael, Giovanna, Brianna, Adrino, and Irama, Angel.
Don't miss anyone out, though.
No, I haven't.
Otherwise,
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
Otherwise,
I arranged it in the order of who is the eldest, and then there's their children in that order.
It sounds like a close-knit family.
It is. One of the things we learned to laugh at each other at a very early age. Dad wouldn't let us go out, so that's how come we would do recitals with cousins coming over and everything. So it got to a point, I remember we'll pick on one person for like a week or two. All your goofs will be brought to bear and we'll laugh at you. I mean, you're able to endure it because you know next week it will be the other person's turn and you go and dig all the juicy stuff. So we learn to depend on each other and, you know, love each other. We still do. I hear being the eldest boy, I'm supposed to travel around where everybody is and check on them. I'm yet to find out if that is feasible. But I love, like I said, I love them to bits. Very, very, very much there for you when you need them. And so you are forced to be there when they need you.
All through school, me in Accra Academy, I knew you were, you know, SU and all that. But at the time, did you know you were going to pursue music as a professional?
Finally I did, but initially no. You know, I did the sciences. I did A-level, I did physics, chemistry, biology. You know, meaning I wanted to be a doctor. You know, but then I realized that the passion for music was way too strong.
Wow.
I woke up with songs. The songs woke me up sometimes. I learned how to play without formal tuition. It was just that all I need to do is hear the song, get on the keyboard, and I replay it. You know,
you just listen to the keys.
Just listening, and that's it. You know, so I knew there was a challenge when A-level, instead of being in the physics lab, I find myself in the piano room, and I had the key to the piano room. I mean, I was head prefect in scripture, you know, president, so I had that access, you know. So he's now a Reverend, Mr. Subontin, who was teaching us biology, called me aside and said, you know, your physics is suffering, so you better sit up or, you know, find out what's up. Praying through, working through, I realized that if I could follow the passion, it will lead me somewhere, because I heard from somewhere that passion is the key to success. So what you're passionate about can actually push. And I would say that I've come thus far.
I'm going to take a break here, and then in a minute, the passion will push you this far. We want to find out how far passion pushed him. Don't move. Thank you very much for staying, but there are other things which I think we'll keep it off screen, but they were quite interesting. Not too much, just maybe too interesting for camera. But I think that he said something which is really important, passion. You know, because I always say that you have to have passion in whatever it is that you do, because that's why somebody gives an excuse that it was raining so I couldn't come, and the other one turns up. Those who have passion turn up whether it's raining or not. So I just want to find out. It's good you have your passion, but did you know you would come this far when you're pursuing your music?
Just like we started by saying that the passion actually gives you sustaining power. You know, I knew it was something good. The applause was good. The invites to the different programs was good. And when I started, it wasn't just, I think even though there were churches that I was known for doing what I do, the shoot to fame came. One, there was a Joyce Abibio show at the Tulip, you know, and Bobby, who happens to own New World, was working with Taboo. I don't know if you know Taboo, Andrew, G.I., what's his name? Kwame Fachi, what's his name? Swift, you know, it was right there down in Asylum down. So he recommended to her that, look, there's this guy who really can sing. So she asked me to come, and we did it. I think Chester was the MC. Just before I walked off stage, he was like, no, you can't go. We need to know who you are. Where have you been? Where are you from? So we talked. And then the next thing I heard him say was, ladies and gentlemen, that's Ghana's answer to Luther Vandross. I was like, because Luther is huge, you know. He's one of the guys. I didn't know who he was, but I listened to his tapes a lot. And so there was definitely an influence in there. So knowing that I'll end up here, no. But I knew that I loved what I did, and I knew even if I made millions and I didn't have to work, I'll still be doing music. So for me, it was still something that I would find my myself, if you asked me to retire and you gave me a house load of money, I'll still be writing, I'll still be singing.
Wow. Now, mentioning Luther Vandross, right? Now, I know you do gospel, but I mean, there are certain secular music that they're not evil. Like I'm looking at Luther Vandross' song about him and his dad. There's a song he sings. Me and my dad. We cuddled, we do this. It's not necessarily, gospel, but it's not necessarily evil. Now, with a voice like yours, wouldn't you want to push? And I think it's even good, And I'm listening to you share the birthday with your father and everything, and so why can't you do something like that?
Well, I do. I mean, I write stuff. There was this I did with what's his name? I did with Legacy and Legacy, Albert Oakland and Comfort. They had this Turning Point program, and doing what I do on Joy, I read the LPMs a couple of times, and I read the stories about people, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can write a song on this, because already I was actually not just contemplating on people, I was thinking of Africa, that we come to a place where we need a turnaround. So I went home, I wanted to write, work and work didn't happen, so I laid back. When I woke up, it was 2 a.m. and I heard the chorus. No more searching, the light has come. Here's where we turn around. No more delays. Time to move on. Because for me, Africa has all the resources, but we keep squandering our opportunities, and so it's not just Ghana, it's not just Accra. It is the whole of West Africa, is the whole of Africa that needs the turnaround. We need to value what we've been given, and when it comes to resources worldwide, Africa has over 90% of what, but we still are where we are because leadership has issues. So that needs to be worked. So I do write those kind of songs. I write songs that are encouraging. I even write love songs. Here and there you fall in love out of love. It hurts, and I write based on my experiences. So before you realize, you singing a melody and penning down some lyrics, it hurts, but it's gonna be all right.
Who is it? Give me
Who is it? Oh,
give me a name.
No.
How could she?
How could they?
Well, how could the last one? How could the last one?
Because there's this tune actually that sounds like Kwesi Otin's first single, and I told him about it, and he goes like, but I wrote, that was before he even released this, I wrote, cause when you're gone, my life goes on, I will get through, get over you, cause after a while, I'll learn to smile, get over you, and it keeps on and on like that. But those are experiences. As to whether I'll release them, time will tell.
So there are many people already soaked into this short chorus.
I know. So I mean, it's sometimes it ends up where we call, you guys call it branding, right? So you branded yourself in a way, and you want to stick to that because that's what people will take you for. Maybe a time will come when people mature to the place where you can do some of these, especially the last one. I mean, as for the inspirational, I keep writing them and I will never stop. I have one that I'm working on that has to do with unity in this country, because we are so divided by partisan, all that. So I have a song that says that, we have only one Ghana. This is my home. I can't go elsewhere and call it home. This is where I belong. I mean, somebody would say that, but then what you do, you can be anywhere and be able to, but this is where I love to be. This is home for me, and I get more inspiration when I'm home than when I'm out. So I think that will come through one of the days.
I was going to ask, go back, and I think you brushed over
way back into
no, way back, just a little back. I think you brushed over the love issue? I mean, the whole Ghana's
Why is everybody wanting to know this love
Because
thing?
we are concerned.
Ooh, yeah. It's a love thing.
We are all concerned.
Concern?
Yes.
Oh, please don't be. I'm fine. I'm good.
Well, guys, I asked.
I'm good because at the end of the day, you know how you fall in love. Everybody wants to know because of what you do, how you do, when you do, and probably a number of times they put pressure on the person. You know, and that has actually messed up a couple or two.
I see.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure, and the person now begins to feel I need to play the role, but I don't need you to play any role. Just be yourself. You know, so even if there is some, we like to hush it. So,
But can we say maybe by the end of the year, you know,
could be, yeah.
could be at least by the end of the year? Let's all keep fingers crossed and pray for.
Does it work?
Well, I guess if we want it to
mind
work,
me.
I guess if we want it
The
to
rascal
work,
is showing up.
will the Christian fraternity accept if you come out with a song that's not like biblical?
Based on my upbringing, even if I sang something you didn't hear Jesus, you can be sure that lyrics will be biblical. I might not quote verbatim, but listen, the Bible talks about every area of life, every sphere of life, about love. I mean, read Kingston, Book of Solomon, about every area of your life. So, in other words, God is interested in we succeeding on all fronts. You know, because you will be a failure if you made it and your love life or your life at home is a mess. A man who's made it and he's out there life and then back home everything is messed up, you really have issues. Because I mean, people are supposed to trust you. How can you rule over us if you can't rule over your home? And that is a scripture anyway.
What's the biggest star you've performed with? Who's the biggest you've been on
I
stage?
don't know what I mean.
Okay, which was your proudest moment on stage? Which was your proudest moment? The wow, either the audience or the person you performed with, or
It's all been unique, if you ask me. It's all been very unique. Being on stage with Ron Winans, he passed away. Being on stage with Kirk, Alvin Slaughter, Patrick Duncan, when Bishop T.D. Jakes was here the first time. And it was all different. You savor the flavor differently and based on what you're supposed to do. But I think one person that made me really enjoy the moment was Kirk.
okay,
You know, because I think he heard me sing before he came up stage. So when he was singing, myself and Azizad said, "Oh, we're hungry." So that was like 90 something. We went to Papaya to get some food. When we came back, Aziz said we should go on. I said no, we should stop through. When we came, Kirk was like, "Where's that brother who sang earlier on in the day? Is he gone?" And I raised my hand. He said, "Come over and sing with us." So I did that.
okay.
You know, and it was interesting where people thought that was the best of my singing. I'm like, guys, this is what I do. I can't do best of me because it's Kirk, you know. But then he kept talking, and even before they left at the press conference, he still said, "That's my best singer." So he made me kind of enjoy the moment. Like, you know, somebody thinks something of you and they say it. You know, the others we didn't really get to. I think for Alvin, the first time, he asked the organizer a question that kind of validated what we do here. He said, "So if you have guys like this, why do you keep inviting us?"
Wow.
You know, and for me, that was to say that we have something to present. If they would find it worthy of, you know, mentioning, worthy of mentioning, then believe you me, it means that we can represent wherever we go. That was a big plus.
Okay, and then I think we all want to know which one is your album, your favorite album.
They are all my babies. They are all my offspring. I
but
give birth to all of them.
If we were to give you just one, if you're going on a long journey and you're allowed one album,
I'll take I Believe.
I guess we'll all take I Believe. then you don't have to take. By the time you get there, we all have one for you. So then you're
I believe. It was even a song written. I was somewhere, Woodbridge, Virginia, when trying to get a bus, and the melody, and I was thinking of, why is it that one can be so gifted and yet, you go through a phase where it's like nothing is working, and it's like, then why do I have what I have? But there's timing for everything. So I kind of had this feeling that the time will come. And when that thought and feeling, flooded my system, I kind of said, Lord, I believe. And that was what started. Lord, I believe that all things, with you, all things are possible. Lord, I believe. Yes, I believe.
It's blessed.
If you ask me, I think I can I can actually write a sequel to that and say, I still believe.
I'm going to take a break here, but I think after the break we're still going to believe. Don't move. So I like the story about the musician who's picked the, scrambled the paper, threw it in the bin, picked it up, and then all of a sudden, Folks, thank you very much for staying. But you know what? Behind the scenes, we were still talking. But let's go back. Before the break,
select the rewind.
Before the break, you were in the U.S. bus stop. It drops on you that look, I believe.
I believe that if he said it, then he's more than able. Because I serve a kind of God that knows the end from the beginning, and a lot of times he throws the end at you and goes like, catch that. This is where I'm taking you. But the steps you don't get. So that is on faith. You take the steps on a daily basis, and before you realize, is it French? They say voila, something like that. You are there. And even that, because you're trying to catch up with something that's way out there, your focus is not with the satisfaction of where I am, and you begin to gloat like, hey, I made it. Because anytime we stop growing, we start dying.
Wow.
So you just keep pushing yourself until, like somebody said, you die empty. One scripture that I love about David, I don't remember whether, I think it's in the book of Romans. It said David served his generation according to the will of God, but before his body saw corruption. So the thing is, for every one of us brought on earth in this dispensation to give up the best. Time is going. If you don't do it now, somebody said, I'm waiting to get the right moment. If God is giving you a 10-year grace period to do that, and 5 years is gone, it's gone. You're not going to get it back. So the earlier you start now, and
that's scary.
I know that you get to the place where you realize that, let me speak a little tree, even though my tree is not that good. They say, right? So you do your bit. And for all you know, you're supposed to just lay the foundation for the next generation to pick up and run with it. But sometimes we want to finish everything and we end up not doing anything. Somebody gave this analogy recently that our lives is like getting into a car and getting on the highway. There are other cars that join you. Some are behind you, some by your side, some ahead of you. If you get distracted looking in the mirror at the ones behind and by your side, you end up not going anywhere. Because you soon realize that some will overtake you, some will cross, some will do whatever they want to do, but their exit point is different. So are you going to say that you're racing with this person when at exit B, C, or whatever, they get off and you're supposed to keep going, or you get up before they do? But because you're looking at them, you go over your exit point and you're lost. You understand? So we find out that we all have been given an assignment. And there's a specific time that we're supposed to. It's relevant when you work within that specific given time. All you need to do is do that. We humans have made everything complex by the way we've defined success. Jesus lived for 3 years, and for the 30 years, but 3 years when he started ministry, so the 3 years he died. We keep talking, and the reason why there are Christians and there are things going their way, and even everything is being named after him, Anno Domino, whatever, is because it was impactful. The timing was right. So if you get your timing right, you may be long gone, but your principles will be revisited, and then we will still be working with them. And that for me is success, if you ask me. Success is when you're gone and people pick up your stuff and still run with.
I'm sure.
Because they say success without a successor is failure. Okay, now we're doing it.
I'll come back and find out who your successor is, but after you're long gone, your music will still be there. But I want to go to when you went into the studio, but let me reverse before I come there. Now, you see, I know you've just said, oh, I did physics, chemistry, biology, but I wanted to do music. Now, a typical Ghanaian parent will say, Danny, congratulations. I've taken you to school, you've done physics, chemistry, biology, there's your guitar, go and sing. I'm sure, I don't know, I mean, how supportive were they, or how, were they in terms of discouraging you? How did
they didn't take it lightly, how bad it was I did secondary education on scholarship. My dad said to my mom, the money that is due him for school fees, just put it all in the bank for him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there to see that, so he's gone. We had to learn how to take care of ourselves, family-wise. So I didn't mind mom spending on my sisters and stuff. I knew that this was what I was going to do. But before then was this time when mom would come, knock on the door and go like, I'd like to talk to you. And you know what time that is? Around 3 a.m. Back in the day, I don't know if moms and pops, you all still do that, but back in the day, that's what they do if they want to talk sense into your head. So like what she did, I listened to her once, twice. I realized that I was going to stick to my gun. So third time she comes, I'm like, you know what? I'm not opening this door. I'm going to stick to it. Question is, did they come around it? Yes. It took a while because, like I said, she heard me on Joy, Sunny FM, and it's like there was this time, like early time, she goes like, so what are you going to wear for this program? There was this Valentine thing I did with Joy FM, I think Akosombo Hotel or something, and I said I was going to wear the blue shirt. She's like, but you worn it twice. So now she's in charge of wardrobe, making sure that I don't show up anyhow.
I mean, so what would she say? I mean, things like, finish your doctorate and come and sing, or...
She did. She did feel like finish the medicine and then you can choose to do whatever. But in my thinking last was, I'm like, but that won't be smart. I'll spend 7 years on, doing medical. That is if you pass every exam, because there are some people that rewrite it and then afterwards it's like, now I want to do music. For me, it didn't make sense. Maybe it does now. So I shut everybody out. 2 weeks I was in the outhouse, the boys' quarters, and I wouldn't talk to anybody. It was like I was fasting, starving. I don't know what it was, but I kept praying. I'm like, Lord, I need to understand where this whole thing is going. Around that time, my cousin comes, knocks on the door, like, you have a letter. It's from the States. Was these adverts that I saw in an Ebony magazine saying send in your songs or your poems for a contract, So I had written a song or two. I think I'd sent 3, and then they had sent me a contract to use. They want to use, 2 of my songs on a project.
Send it back from America.
Yes. So I'm thinking to myself, now I'm thinking if it was now, I would have signed the contract. But for me, it just validated the fact that I think it's occurred to me that, whoa, if a company from the US wants your song, you must be good enough.
Yeah.
So for me, that was where it settled in, that I can actually do this and take it somewhere. So then quickly I called Case Frequency, KK Dua. He's may so rest in peace. I asked him if I could work with him. He's like, you should have said that like yesterday. So he gave me the opportunity. I'd already had a little working experience with Zap in the studio. He's like a big brother, mentoring and, tutoring along the way. So I knew how to operate that Atari and the stuff. So within 1 week of being hired at Case Frequency, I was moved, because some people wanted to work at night because the studio was booked as far as like 3-4 months ahead. So what happens is I started working nights. I did night for like 8 months, you know, and every night when nobody works, I'll do my demo.
Now, you're a sound engineer.
Yes, I am.
You know, I mean, I'm thinking doctorate, music, sound engineer. How did that happen?
Yeah, I think it's still all on the science part.
I guess so.
Yeah,
If it's not biology, it's chemistry. If it's not, it's physics.
Somebody, Reverend Kofi Otri and Reverend Sifa Samati kept going on joy, like, what has music got to do with science? I mean, a science student. I'm like, music is science. Hello. And they're like, how? I'm like, first we talk about dynamics, we talk about volume, we talk about sound, we talk about amplitude, and they're like, wait a minute, you're taking this too far. Some of the schools that I had the positioning to go to in the States when I finished A-level, I chose to accept me to do acoustics or sound because my background had physics in it.
Okay.
You know, so it has everything to do with everything. I mean, I think what the brain does is expand based on what you give it. If your brain can become spongy, you can absorb and you can apply it in life. I try to call myself the 360 musician, an all-rounder. You know, so I read everything, and everything I read on, you know, I mean, about life. You ask me about South Africa, I know a little bit. You ask me about Botswana, I've been there, I know a little bit about.
Talking about all-rounder, you see, when you came in, and that style of music you brought, I mean, we were used to Israelite went to, you know, and then, you know, that.
Come on, I love those songs.
And then you come in with all your swagalicious thing. Weren't you scared if people don't accept it and think, oh, is this biblical?
Well, I think I had done my homework already, because, like I said, with the likes of Zap and Tom in my life, I noticed that everywhere I mentioned them, because I was so proud of them, I am so proud of them. Everywhere I mentioned back in the day, people didn't know who they were. So that was where I started schooling myself about marketing and advertising. Like, how come people don't know how good these guys are? You know. So now what I started doing was, I would go to the churches, I would make Zap do the soundtracks. I'll go through the churches. If I see there's a program going on, I would beg for them to allow me to sing a song or two. No pay, and I thought to myself, by so doing, I'll be known at the grassroots level, and by the time I hit, people would already know. That worked. And then again, what worked was the fact that Reverend Tom Wright Davis, who I looked up to, who schooled me in a lot of things, actually had gone ahead of me and told a lot of pastors that there's this guy called Danny, he is this, he is that, and he was the it of the time. You know, so eventually when I started going through the churches, I constantly heard, oh, you are the one Tom was talking about, you are the one Tom was talking about, you are the one. And I think the rest is history.
Wow. And I like that bit, which I think the up and coming should take a note of. I wanted to do it for free, because everybody goes, what's in it for me?
Of course.
You need to prove yourself before you ask.
It's the day. I mean, rightly so. It's going to go to a point where they wouldn't even need to ask again. You know, out there they don't ask. They want you for hire in a church to play keyboards. Back in the day when I used to visit frequently and almost stayed, the ongoing rate was $250. You know, so it's very easy. $250. It's very easy for you to play gig from gig to gig, and you know, within a day you would have done $1,000 worth of gig for one Sunday. But at the end of the day, did you listen to the sermon? Did you grow spiritually? It's all about the money. So you get to the place where your spirituality is supposed to match up with what's coming, and you're found wanting. So you would lose out. The thing is, what you're going through is preparing you for the next level. So let's assume this analogy. There's a mountain. I'm climbing. It's steep. It's difficult. But the solution is climbing on the flip side, trying to meet me at the top.
What's new for your fans out there? What should they expect?
On the immediate, I have a worship program this month in Tema.
Okay.
28th of February in a place called Liberty Hall, Community 12. It's a worship event. It's a free thing I'm trying to do. having been to Tema like that, they kept complaining, oh, it's only when a church invites you, but I need to get there as Daninete, you know, doing what he does. Apart from that, I'm looking into going into a couple of TV stuff. Of course, I'm doing production, and then the music school is supposed to, you know, open up not 1 or 2 students anymore, but for a whole lot of people who want to learn how to play, how to sing, how to play the guitar and the keyboards, especially by ear. Of course, you get a lot of the theories, because without that you won't go much any further, you know. So for me, I think those are the things I'm looking at this year, apart from the sporadic jump outs and back in.
And I must add that every Sunday between 12 and 2 p.m. Tune to Joy 99.7 FM and listen to the Worship Zone.
The Worship Zone.
The Worship Zone, and listen to the man himself. Are you keeping it going, or you are?
Do I look like I'm about to drop?
No, you don't look about to drop. We just want assurance, you know.
We keep going, like I said, until we empty ourselves. And when you begin to live life knowing that you as a gift, or you have no use to yourself, your use is for the people receiving, you know. So life lived is about people. It's about who you blessed, who you helped. Somebody needs the next level. They need to stand on your thigh or your shoulder to get there. It's very necessary you understand that role and allow people sometimes to use you, as it were, to get to, because at the end of the day, it's the betterment of humanity and the kingdom of God.
Well, normally we end by you just saying thank you, but I think, you know, one verse of a song to our people, I think will go down very well.
A verse,
yeah.
Not just a chorus, a verse. A verse or a verse and a chorus?
A verse and a chorus. Anything that.
Okay. More than a song, I give to you. Oh, more than a song, I give to you. I give my heart, my life, my all. I give you me.
Well, I would have helped, but I would have absolutely ruined your interview. So I just had to keep quiet and soak it in. Folks, Danny, thank you so much.
It's a privilege to be here.
I've enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure my viewers have.
You know, I still remember you in shorts back in school, you know.
Until I come to you with another personality, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. I enjoyed the interview. So there we have it, the harsh reality of life. Barely a year ago, full of life, even sang a song for me, remembered my days in Accra Academy and my shorts, how cheeky of him. But today he's no more. And I think the introspection is that it could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody. So let us all live our life as if it was the last day we had on earth. If you have any good to do, do it. If you have any love to show, show it. But until next Friday that I come to you with another personality, have a beautiful week.